Salve gente, benvenuti o ben ritrovati su Black Mirror 2. Eravamo qui, anzi ci siamo lasciati qui, in questa stanza di un castello. Mi verrebbe da dire Marco di Rondello, ma lasciamo perdere. E... carta da forno, macchina da giocattolo, pezzi di fune. Non è che abbia molto. Queste sono 3 stelle incavate, mentre questa è una stella in rilievo. Oh, pianoforte.
I didn't know what I should play, apart from the fact that I probably wouldn't be able to play anyway. I didn't know what I should play, apart from the fact that I probably wouldn't be able to play anyway.
Bene. O male. Qui mi dà le scale, qui mi dà il baule. Qui abbiamo una TV, l'uscita. Sarebbe stato bello mettere in rilievo cosa notare e cosa no. Oh, vabbè.
Well, it's funny that lots of folk like to hang carcasses on the wall. In Evil Dead, I thought these stag heads were funny, but this one here is pretty quiet and sure hasn't got much to laugh about.
E se io metto la carta da forno da qualche parte? No, Niente. C'ho sto pianoforte che me lo dà in continuazione. Evidentemente devo interagire con il pianoforte. Ma come? Abbiamo il baule. E abbiamo delle decorazioni. E se io metto la carta da forno sulle decorazioni?
The circles are recessed into the wood. That means that they must be able to be traced on the paper using a piece of charcoal. Hey, worked well. You can easily recognize the circles as well as the lines.
No, vedi?
What if the circles on the chest are simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch but not the duration of the note. What if the circles on the chest are simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch but not the duration of the note. I'm guessing that the chest isn't as old as it looks at first glance. As far as I know, numerical locks like this haven't been around for long. You have to enter the right 3-figure combination. Only, what is it?
Beh, è questa qua, ciccio. Se l'hai copiata. Aspetta.
Could the circles on the chest be simplified notes? Notes which just give the pitch, not the duration? If they really are notes, then there's a starting point missing. Perhaps you can begin anywhere, and just have to pay attention to the relative pitch of the notes with one another.
A parte io sono proprio una mezza sega di queste cose. No, beh. Allora, ricordiamo gli aiuti. Sono note musicali, in effetti. Riguardano la tonalità dei tasti. Comunque, per superarlo, numerate i tasti del piano da sinistra a destra e premete i tasti. Ah, sì. 1, 3, 3. Qui dice da sinistra a destra e premi i tasti 1, 3, 3, 2, 5, 3, 2, 3. Uno sarebbe questo. 3. Però non mi fa fare nulla. Due, 5. 5. 3, 2, 3.
That was it, I think. I didn't make any Always the same note.
Fatto questo, tornate al baule e interagire con il lucchetto per inserire codici 325. Cioè, qui proprio aprite cielo.
Sounds like it's done something. Got it. Combination worked. Alright, there's my stuff. Alright, I'll just take this stuff. I probably won't need the rest anymore.
Bene, allora io salverei. Anche perché salva, fuga per la libertà. Sì. E usciamo. Questo sia un puzzle per me impossibile. A parte gli indizi sono schifosi.
Oh, great. Wonderful. I'm in the middle of nowhere. The next house could be miles away, and Tom could be back at any minute. I think I better find out where I am first. If Tom does come back, I can always jump into the bushes.
Questa è la stanza dove eravamo rinchiusi noi?
Only this window has been nailed shut. The others were left unprotected and so for the most part are broken. It looks like the occupiers moved out in a hurry. or they didn't care about what happened to the castle. What a dump. The castle looks like it's been fighting a battle with nature for the past 10 years. And lost. I can't believe that someone still lives here. Everything's so run down and overgrown.
No, non è, eravamo sul piano di sopra, quindi non qui.
Whoever the guy is, and judging by his clothing, I bet he never reckoned on ending up standing in a swamp. Not long now and you'll see this place as one green sea of plants.
Quindi a lungo andare la palude nei 30 anni è arrivata fino al castello.
A dream habitat for frogs and swamp plants. But that wasn't ever the plan, for sure. It smells all rotten and a bit airless. Probably the leaves from the trees rotting in the water.
Calcola che questo era un bel giardino. Ah, c'è ancora la pompa.
A water hose, which apparently they used to use to blast the garden. It's had it. There's a huge rip in it about a meter long. There's probably water in it over the winter, and when it froze, it'll have bursted. Hoses have been real useful to me up till now. Hopefully the same goes for this one. That could have been a tower at one time. The princess would have been locked in the top, waiting for her knight in shining armor. Who knows what's waiting there now?
Ah, non c'era la principessa, c'era una specie di scienziato pazzo. Anzi, mezzo pazzo. Quello pazzo è morto. Malamente.
I'm pretty sure that there's something interesting inside. But I can't get inside from here. This lamp definitely hasn't worked for eons. And for sure is never going to again. Wrecked. Like everything here. The house, or what's left of it, is not as old as the other ruins here. Apart from the burnt places on the ruins, I can't spot anything else of interest.
Però ha anche caduto il tetto qui. Vabbè che già stava malamente. Che? Muro?
This wall is definitely just as old as the tower, and just as shaky. I had to keep away from it. The only function of the wall seems to be to hold up the gate. I won't disturb it.
Ma non c'era questo però prima.
That's where someone either tried to turn into the entrance, or the wall fell down through old age. Behind the wall is where a kind of moat begins, maybe 4 or 5 meters deep. Down there's just stone and junk, perhaps a few objects from the Middle Ages. Swords, armor, that sort of thing. But that's for archaeologists to worry about.
Sì, aspetta, eh.
The bowl is full to the brim with water. The outlet's probably blocked so that the rainwater can't escape. A tree's blocking the way. But I reckon I can climb over the trunk. Oh, damn! That could also have gone in my eye. Huh. It's a miracle that the stairs haven't collapsed. but I'm still not gonna step on them.
Potresti salire sull'albero?
Luckily, it seems to have not rained here for a while. That's why the morass is relatively hard and dry. Otherwise, I would have sunk in deeper, and might not have been able to get out on my own. Luckily, it seems to have not rained here for a while. That's why the morass is relatively hard and dry. Otherwise, I would have sunk in deeper, and might not have been able to get out on my own.
Ah, queste due statue non c'erano, eh?
Is that also some kind of grave? Nope. Rather more like a water basin. There's about a centimeter of duckweed floating on the water. The statues are of veiled women, grieving for the dead. In their book it says... nothing.
Non erano così le statue, eh? Carucola?
A pulley, somewhat battered and weathered. But it still works. Looks useful. I'll take it with me. A monument. And there's more behind. Maybe some kind of family plot.
Sì.
3 very similar trees. All about as thick as an arm. About 3 or 4 meters tall and pretty bent over by the wind. The trees only have their first branches quite high up, and barely any leaves. They're obviously not doing too well, but they're still too thick to break them and bring them down.
Se io ci legassi questo magari... No, niente. Una carucola? No. No. Niente.
Strange. None of the graves look like they're from recent years. Most of the stones must have been standing there for decades.
Boh, andiamo a dare un'occhiata nella cripta.
Huh. The ground's real soft everywhere here. I think it must be a swamp. I bet as soon as it rains, you can't put one foot in front of the other. This building must be the only one you can still get into.
Qui abbiamo ancora le 3 statue.
In horror stories, there's always secret passageways under sarcophaguses like this. And they always lead down into secret underground chambers. In reality, though, I think I can exclude that idea. There are only probably some horrible beetles and corpse-eating maggots in there.
Beh,
There are 2
non ne
belts.
sbagli.
They look like carrion slings. And they look new. The belts are a ripstop weave. They'll sure hold quite a bit. Could be Poseidon. Well, the statue's got a trident in its hand at least. That's strange. The lid isn't sitting flush on the sarcophagus. There are some stone chips which have come off the edge. Doesn't look all too old. I think that the sarcophagus was open recently. but I wouldn't know what that's gotta do with me. It's not gonna help me find where I am. I think that the sarcophagus was open. A stone figure holding weigh-in scales. The scales are empty. This stone statue is covered in moss, like the others. It's carrying a metal shield. Unusual. The shield hasn't been moved in years. False alarm. Obviously a wild, romantic place. Only the stinking swamp outside ruins the atmosphere. Obviously a wild, romantic place. Only the stinking swamp outside ruins the atmosphere. The lid is partly fallen in. That would appear to have been a few years back, though. The lid is partly fallen in. Two ripstop carrion slings.
Cos'è che hanno... Ah, beh, certo, qui c'era la cosa che hanno tirato su. Questi alberi cosa dovrebbero fare? Uncino?
A hook. It still looks pretty sound despite the rust. It's damn well fixed. I'm not gonna get it out with my bare hands. It's a miracle that so much of the house is still standing after the tree smashed into it. Nothing interesting to see. The roof has caved in and buried the room below it. No. I don't need to strain myself there. It's well fixed.
Ho ancora la sbarra di metallo?
No chance. The door's wedged. And even if it wasn't, the building looks likely to fall down any minute anyway.
Non me li fa combinare. Conuncina dovrà servire a qualcosa.
completely filthy water tap. Well, who'd have thought it? It still works. A certainly old, but still functioning water tap. The rip in the pipe is so big that I can just as well let the water splash onto the ground. A certainly old, but still...
Sì. Ragazzo?
The boy's around 12 years old, I guess. Looks like he could be watching me. Hey, kid! I know you're there. Come out, I'm not gonna hurt you.
You couldn't anyway. I'm much too quick for you.
If you say so. I'm Darren Michaels, a mighty physics student.
I'm Van Helsing.
Van Helsing.
The vampire hunter? I always thought you were a bit older, sir. I saw some toys in the castle. Are they yours?
Yes, all my things. And my car. I got that for my birthday. I daren't go in there since those men have been there.
You better not. They're dangerous.
Are they werewolves?
No. But they kidnapped me.
Cool.
Cool.
That's a nice hatchet you got there.
Mm-hmm. I found it.
Do you think I could borrow it?
A vampire hunter never puts his weapon down.
I see. Do you never have a break from being a vampire hunter?
What else can I play? All my toys are inside.
Ha ragione.
Can you tell me where I am? What's this castle?
Eh? It's the old Gordon's place.
The Gordons? From Willow Creek?
Willow Creek? I don't know what you're talking about. Sir Richard and Lady Eleanor used to live here.
And where are we exactly?
Where? In Wales.
Oh, great.
Ora sai dove sei però.
Have you seen the two men who are living in the castle now?
Yes. Nasty men.
You bet.
One of them chased me. Said he would call the police if I don't disappear.
I'm sure he wouldn't do that.
The woman was much nicer.
Which woman?
The pretty one.
I see.
Was here a few weeks ago. She was snooping around and asked me about the summer house and the laboratory. And then she went. She took some blood samples with her.
Strange. Did she tell you her name? Or what she planned to do with them?
She needed the blood for research. Angelina said.
Whoa, what?
For research. Maybe she's a vampire hunter too.
What did the woman look like?
Well, like a woman. Pretty.
Like this? Did she look like this?
Yes, that's her. But she had long blonde hair when she was here. I liked her much more like that.
Oh.
Blonde hair. And when did you say she was here?
It was before my birthday. About 4 weeks ago.
Long before we coincidentally bumped into each other in Biddeford.
Angelina nasconde qualcosina.
What kind of summer house is that?
It's all ruins. Blew up.
Really?
Yes, a long time ago. My father says that old Sir Richard died in the explosion. He had his laboratory in the summer house. He was a scientist. I think he was a vampire.
Really?
Of course. He experimented with blood. Who else does that kind of thing?
Maybe you're right. And they gave up the castle after the explosion?
Maybe. That was 10 years ago. Since I've been coming here, the castle has always been empty.
What exactly did the woman do when she was here?
Looked at the castle and the summer house, especially the house.
Do you know what she did there?
Looked for something, and I think she tried to get into the old laboratory. At some point, she gave up and started searching at the tomb in the marshes. I had to go home because it was starting to get dark. When I came back the next day, she walked past me coming from the summer house. She had a bag of blood in her hand and was very happy. And then, she left.
Oh, oh.
That's a nice hatchet you got there.
Mm-hmm. I found it.
Do you think I could borrow it?
A vampire hunter never puts his weapon down.
I see. Do you never have a break?
What else can I play?
Listen, Van Helsing. Can you do me a favor and keep watch for the car and the other man coming back? I need to have a look around here and, I need a lookout.
Of course. Nothing gets past me.
Excellent. That can't possibly be a coincidence. Angela snoops around the Gordon estate, and I discover a connection to this very family in Biddeford. Did Angelina lie to me? The question is, did she have a good reason, or does she work for the Order? I can't leave here before I found some answers.
Ah, certamente lavorava per l'ordine. Anzi, magari è l'ordine.
Hey, look!
Ooh, my car!
I don't know what I could ask him at the moment. The little guy's hatchet. Oh, it's seen better days. Can I just borrow the hatchet?
Yeah, of course.
Bene. Picchetto?
Approximately a 30-centimeter long sharpened wooden stake. I really doubt that there are vampires here.
C'era una volta un bel giardino.
I'll try to loosen the hook using the hatchet. That worked amazingly well.
Beh, insomma.
This'll take a while. The axe is real blunt.
Più tardi.
Okay, I felled the trees and trimmed the trunks for a good 1.5 meters. The tree trunks are about an arm's thickness and pretty long. how does that go? You can somehow rig up a tripod out of 3 pieces of wood. So, and then like so. Yep, exactly. And now, 1 tripod. Just has to be erected now. I'll position it as well as I can over the sarcophagus.
Allora, prima di tutto montiamo allora la carucola.
I'll hang the pulley on the rope. I'll try to get as much of the rope as I can. I ought to first secure the slings to the lead. I'll place the sling around the back right corner and the other around the front left one. The slings are exactly long enough to touch in the middle. The length just makes it. Real careful. I hope it's gonna hold.
Sul primo si scendeva di qua, adesso si scende di là. Bene, salviamo.
What have we got here? Steps leading down. The gap is big enough to squeeze through. I only hope that my rig up doesn't collapse as soon as I'm in.
Ah, vedi dove sbucava?
Whoa. Now where's this then? Looks like the inside of a tower. And here's some kind of crater in the floor. Looks like something's exploded here.
Come ha fatto Angelina arriva qua?
It looks like there wasn't any fire. There's no charring in the rubble. An explosion which caused this kind of damage in a closed space? So Richard wouldn't have stood a chance. Chains, wrought iron rings, crudely hewn stones. Not exactly what you'd call modern craftsmanship. Rather more like a Frankenstein movie. There's paper lying everywhere. Most of it soaked through from rainwater. Huh. Here's a folder. Oh, it's only wet on one corner. Newspaper cuttings. From 1981. 12 years ago. William Gordon in fatal accident, Willow Creek. William Gordon fell on Tuesday from his studio on the tower of his home due to unknown causes. Blah, blah, blah. William Gordon, suicide. As the police today announced, we are now dealing with the fall of the master of Blackmere Castle, close by the village of Willow Creek. In all probability, a suicide. Here's another piece a week later. Grim serial murders in Willow Creek. Blah, blah, blah. Latest victim of bloody trail, Vic Valley, just 12 years old. According to police sources, his body was found next to a stone circle in the woods. The condition of the corpse gives reason to suspect a ritual killing. Another 2 weeks later. Main suspect in Willow Creek murders identified. As Scotland Yard has announced, it has been established that at 3 of the murder scenes, There are signs which suggest the involvement of Samuel Gordon, the grandson of William Gordon, who was killed last month. Samuel Gordon was found dead 2 weeks ago at the foot of one of the towers of Blackmere Castle. Apparently the tower from which his grandfather had previously... Reports about the murder fest in Willow Creek 12 years ago. No wonder that Sir Richard was interested in it. William was his brother.
Già.
Newspaper articles about Samuel Gordon's killing spree. That must have been the story at the time. Gruesome ritual murder, violence, mystical hocus pocus. An absolute feast for the press. Newspaper articles about an absolute feast for the press.
Bene, un gancio lo mettiamo qua. Quarcio.
Whether the crack goes back to the explosion or appeared later, I don't know. Whichever the case, it doesn't look good. Logic tells me that the tower has been standing like this for years, and so the chances are pretty damn slim that it's all of a sudden gonna collapse this minute, just while I'm here. But my gut tells me that I shouldn't stay here any longer than I absolutely need to.
Bravo.
Whoa, hey, a welding torch. Angelina was using some heavy gear, but it doesn't look like it's been used. The safe wasn't cut open. Works perfectly, but it's not gonna help me much with the safe.
Tubo.
A piece of plastic tube. Okay, I'll stick it in. Rather light. The walls of the pipe are thin. Maybe it belongs to part of a ventilation system or something. The poster survived the explosion relatively undamaged. It was probably hit squarely by the pressure wave and then pressed against the wall. Here's a table showing the occurrences of blood groups.
A più B meno B A 0. Credo.
Here's a table showing the occurrences of blood groups. I can't get through there. The passage has collapsed a few meters in. The safe survived the explosion undamaged, I'd say. These burns may have well come from a welding set. The kid reckoned that Angelina looked real pleased with herself. Somehow she must have got the safe open. Now what have we got here? A combination lock. But not with numbers, with letters.
1, 2, 3, 4 e 5. A, B. A, B.
Sheesh. tables.
A e B, più e meno. A, B, B, A, 0. Beh, dovrebbe essere questa. Questa è la B?
Metal holder with several blood samples. The boy mentioned that. There's a number on each sample, and there's a list of names stuck on the back of the safe. Now let's see. Weird. The numbers 1 to 5 are missing. That's Richard Gordon and William Gordon. Gordon's blood. What does Angelina want with that? Does she need it herself or something? Does she want to stop it getting into other people's hands? Whatever it is, I can't trust her anymore. She's in this thing somehow and she's lied to me. I ought to drive back to Willow Creek. Maybe she's turned up there in the meantime. And then we'll see.
Salviamo.
Whoa, you've been in the crypt? Are there coffins in there?
Yeah, but no vampires.
Shame.
Well, what is it then?
A car! The other man's back!
The other kidnapper? Huh. Thanks for the warning. Okay, run home and tell your parents they should call the police, okay?
Cool.
I've got to be careful. Tom won't be too happy that I've disappeared.
Deve stare attento, sì. Però il gancio ancora non l'ho utilizzato. Qui c'erano sì delle statue. C'erano sì delle statue di donna, ma non portavano il velo e non avevano i vestiti, erano completamente nude. Beh, almeno quel che rimaneva.
Tom's car's back there. Maybe I could hotwire it and...
I don't care what's happened to your head, you useless pisswit. Make sure you get the old cow on the phone. I'll look for that bastard.
I'm never gonna get to the car. Tom would see me and I think I've seen a weapon. Looks like there are two options. I can wait here for the police and then explain to them for hours on end what's going on here. Or I can lay a trap for Tom and then steal his car.
Sono sicuro che Tom sia molto più pericoloso di Bobby. Ah, questo è certo. In qualche modo devo riuscire a superare Tom e a prendere la sua auto. Non ha un'arma e temo che la userebbe se cercasse di arrivare al giardino. E se gli spruzziamo l'acqua addosso? In teoria l'arma potrebbe incepparsi. Questo non c'era nel primo. Boh, vediamo un po' come proseguire perché non lo so. È quello che stavo pensando anche io, però pare che qui le cose non vadano come pensi, perché anche le soluzioni danno allaga la palude. Come vedete non va.
A certainly old, but still functioning water tap. That wouldn't do anything. The rip in the hose is a good meter long, and the tube isn't even 50 centimeters. I can't mend the hose like that.
La manichetta è rotta, ecco perché. E non c'è niente che io possa fare. Possibile che non mi è Non abbia preso tutto? Che mi manca?
That wouldn't do anything. Unless I have a good reason to do it, I'm not gonna set fire to anything here. That wouldn't do anything. The rip in the hose is a good meter long, and the tube isn't even 50 centimeters. I can't mend the hose like that.
Beh, però la combinazione con la fiamma ossidrica, certa. Allora, forse c'è qualcos'altro. Ma non credo. C'è nient'altro?
There's nothing else in it apart from the blood samples. I
Niente.
know what I had to know. Angelina was after the Gordon's blood. The question is, why? And what have I got to do with it?
Beh, mi pare ovvio, ma lui ancora non ci è arrivato. Che lui è un discendente di Gordon, figlio di Samuel, ma... A parte questo... Abbiamo una manichetta, ma non me la fa riparare. Andiamo a controllare, oh? Quindi dovrei... Ma forse è più semplice quanto sempre. Tagliare la parte rotta.
Piece with the rip can't be repaired. I'll cut that bit out. Okay, now I've got 2 halfway usable hose ends. Yeah, great. The tube fits exactly in the hose. Not. If I heat it up first, it ought to expand. And then I could connect the 2 hose ends.
Ecco perché. Ha senso?
If I heat up the plastic tube, it'll expand. Then the ends of the hose will fit into the tube. I think that'll do. It fits. Just wait a bit while it cools down. Done. It's a pretty close fit on the hose. No more water's getting out of there. When the water flows through it, that'll cool the tube down completely.
Perfetto. Cammina sempre a modalità paperella, però... Salva. Non mi va di rifarlo ancora.
It's on. For a start, I ought to position the other end of the hose somewhere. Tom's still keeping guard at the castle entrance. As long as he's there, I can't get into the garden without some risk.
Allora lo mettiamo là, dove lui ci aveva ficcato il piede.
The hose is in position.
Perché tanto passerà di qua, non passerà, non farà il giro. Furbo.
Okay, good. Let's put the whole swamp underwater.
Poco dopo.
That ought to do it. Okay, let's hope everything works as planned. Hey! Tom!
Stop! Stay where you are! Don't move or I'll shoot.
And I'd bet that'd be the highlight of your last 5 minutes on Earth. Tom.
Get me out of here!
Huh. Why should I? Weren't you gonna shoot me just now?
I wanna get out of here!
Then throw your weapon into the swamp and give me your car keys.
I'll...
You'll what? Die in utter misery?
There. Now get me out of here.
Not so fast. What's going on with Angelina? Is she involved with all this?
I've already told you. I don't know any Angelina.
Tja, I'm inclined to doubt that. She was only in the village a few days ago.
Then I didn't see her.
You would certainly have noticed her.
One more time. I don't know any Angelina, and there was nobody sniffing around the village either. Except you, okay? Throw me a bloody rope, will you? Or something or other.
Who ordered you to kidnap me?
You're supposed to pull me out of this.
Was it this secret society?
I don't know anything about a secret society.
The Order. That means nothing to you?
Yeah. Okay. I was supposed to find you, knock you out, and bring you here.
And then?
She was going to call me on the phone and give me further instructions.
She.
A woman. Sounded quite old. No idea who she is.
And she didn't want me staying in Willow Creek?
Yeah. I was supposed to bring you here as soon as possible.
Do you know who belongs to the Order?
No idea. I've only ever seen these nutters over by the mine. They were wearing masks. I don't know who they all were.
Alright then. I'm gone. The police will be here soon.
Get me out of here!
Why? Do you seriously believe you're gonna be sucked to the bottom? Idiot.
Ma una donna anziana, eh?
Excuse me, sir. There's been a letter delivered for you.
Who delivered it?
I don't know. It was in the hotel's post box. But there's no stamp on it, so it must have been delivered personally.
Huh. Thanks.
C'è qualcosa che non va con Angelina, ma qualcosa di
It's
grosso.
from Angelina. Dear Darren, I haven't been completely honest with you.
I've been concerned with Willow Creek and Black Mirror for some time, and it was you I was looking for in Biddeford. I stumbled upon something there that I don't want to write about here. I can only tell you this much. You are in danger. There's a group of people who are out to kill you. They were already after you in Maine. They caught me here in Willow Creek. I managed to escape, and I've been hiding in a safe place since then. I found out today that you are here. I'll explain everything to you and hope that you will forgive me. No, I know that you'll forgive me when you know the dreadful truth. Come to the old lighthouse tonight at 11 o'clock. Make sure that no one follows you. I'll explain everything to you there. Together we can put an end to this whole thing. Take care of yourself and trust no one. You don't know who might belong to the Order. Angelina.
E farsa. Non mi viene un aggettivo da aggiungere. È farsa. Perché lei sa benissimo che lui sta lì, visto che gli ha mandato la lettera. E non questa, quella prima, quella che dovevi utilizzare. Era un po' come l'inchiostro simpatico, no? Scritto con il succo di limone. Quindi questa... no. Comunque, caro Darren, non credo di essere stata onesta fino in fondo con te. No! Non l'avevamo mica capito, sai? Sono coinvolta nella faccenda di Willow Creek e di Black Mirror da tempo ormai. E sono venuta a Biddeford con l'intento di incontrarti. Quindi lei già sapeva di lui e del suo albero genealogico. E c'era qualcuno che la seguiva. Quel tizio lì che poi è morto dentro l'armadietto. Mi sono imbattuta in qualcosa che non posso spiegarti tramite lettera. Ti posso solo dire che sei in pericolo. Beh, ce l'hai messo tu in pericolo. Prima lui se ne stava per i fatti sua. C'è un gruppo di persone a caccia del tuo sangue. Ti seguivano già quando eri nel Meno. Mi hanno scoperta qui a Willow Creek, sono riuscita a scappare e fin da allora sono nascosta in un posto sicuro. Sì, molto sicuro, è certo. Solo oggi ho saputo che sei qui anche tu. Ti spiegherò tutto e spero che tu possa perdonarmi. Contieni. No, sono certa che mi perdonerai dopo che ti avrò raccontato la tremenda verità. Vieni a Vecchio Faro stanotte alle 11 e assicurati che nessuno ti segua. Ti spiegherò tutto una volta lì. Insieme riusciremo a mettere la parola fine a tutta questa orribile vicenda. E che proverà a ucciderlo, secondo me. Guardati le spalle, non fidarti di nessuno, non puoi immaginare quanti di loro facciano parte dell'ordine. Angelina. E allora perché ha lasciato la lettera a sto sciamocco qui?
Angelina's alive. That's the good news. But what kind of a game is she playing? Can I trust her? She lied to me. She knew about this place the whole time. And I'm sure she wasn't unfamiliar with Reginald Boris either. The question is, what side is she on? What's she up to? Either way, I'm gonna find out this evening at the lighthouse. But I should take some precautions. The only place where I'll get a few honest answers is in the Chronicle of the Gordons. Once I know which role the Order plays, perhaps I can deduce what game Angelina's playing. I've got to find a way to read the Chronicle in the museum.
Eh già.
No. I don't know what I could ask Murray right now. Even if there was something in the hotel's reputation.
La imita bene la voce.
There's nothing in my room that could help me in my search for Angelina.
Ok. Direi che per oggi è abbastanza. Piove. No, stavo guardando le macchine e ricordarmi questa qua specialmente. Credo che ce ne fosse un modello simile ed era una Saab, se ben mi ricordo. Ma comunque lo lascio fuori qui così alla prossima andiamo verso Willow Creek. Angelina ci è, ci fa. Come la fa a scrivere? Niente. C o C? Ah già, non accetta gli accenti. Niente accenti. Bene, così mi ricordo che devo andare a Willow Creek. Alla prossima gente, bella a tutti, ciao!